You know, sometimes the scariest stories aren't the ones you find in old books or on the big screen. They're the ones that live in the dark corners of the internet, passed around like digital campfire tales. Today, we're going to pull one of those right out of the shadows. Our story kicks off on the wide open ocean with a group of friends who are about to take a detour they were never supposed to make.
It's a question we don't really think about, right? When you're just soaking in a beautiful moment, horror is the last thing on your mind. But for four friends on what was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime, well, the answer to that question was something straight out of a nightmare.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let me introduce you to our group. Nitish, Mohan, Viraj, and Sneha. They're celebrating a recent graduation, life is good, and they are on top of the world. Everything seems absolutely perfect.
Just picture it, a massive luxury cruise ship slicing through these perfect sunny waters. It's basically a giant party on the ocean. There are 400 people on board, just having the time of their lives, completely carefree. It's one of those amazing days that feels like it could just go on forever.
And then, out of nowhere, something pops up on the horizon. It's this old, incredible-looking lighthouse, sitting all alone on a tiny island. It's definitely not on the schedule, but man, it is stunning. It's practically calling to them. For Nitish, Mohan, Viraj, and Sneha, it's love at first sight. They have to get a closer look.
The whole ship is buzzing with excitement, and the captain, probably against his better judgment, decides to let everyone have their fun. He gets on the intercom and announces they're going to make a quick, unscheduled stop. But pay attention to what he says. There's this little hint of a warning in his voice, a warning that pretty much everyone misses in all the cheering.
So the four friends are among the first to get ashore, and they start exploring this incredible old lighthouse. It's even more amazing up close. Sneha, doing what we all do, pulls out her phone to snap some pictures. But then, as she's looking through the photos she just took, her blood runs cold. In the background of one of the pictures, she can just make out the shape of a person, hanging. But when she looks up, there's nothing there at all. She's totally freaked out, but her friends just brush it off. It's a trick of the light, they say, a glitch in the photo. They convince her it's nothing and keep heading up to the top. What they're about to find out, though, is that the real ghosts in this place aren't on a phone screen. This lighthouse, it's not just a landmark, it's a trap.
When they finally get to the top, any weird feelings about that photo just evaporate. The view is absolutely insane. You can see for miles in every direction, just endless ocean. Their huge cruise ship looks like a little toy boat from way up here. They're completely mesmerized, totally lost in the moment, and that warning from the captain is the furthest thing from their minds.
And here's where it all goes wrong. Look how fast this happens. At 3 o'clock, they're having the time of their lives. An hour later, at 4, that perfect moment is shattered by the deep, booming sound of the ship's horn. Panic sets in. They scramble down the spiral staircase, their feet echoing like crazy. They get to the huge metal door at the bottom and throw their weight against it. Nothing. It won't budge. They realized it's been locked from the outside.
They race back up to the top, hearts pounding, just in time to see it. Their ship, their ride, their rescue, their only way back to civilization is already shrinking on the horizon. It's sailing away, and that beautiful, breathtaking view is now just a window to their own personal hell. They're trapped.
As the sun finally disappears, the lighthouse is plunged into total darkness. The shadows twist and stretch on the old stone walls, and a new kind of cold starts to creep in. This isn't just the night air. It's the terrifying realization that the door wasn't locked by mistake. Someone, or something, wanted them trapped in here.
Now the darkness is just absolute. It feels like you could reach out and touch it. The silence is so deep it actually hurts your ears, and then a sound cuts right through it. Knock, knock, knock. A jolt of hope shoots through them. Maybe someone came back for them. They start screaming, yelling until their throats are raw, but after the knocking stops, there's just more silence.
But they weren't just hearing things. From the darkest corner inside the lighthouse with them, a shape starts to pull itself out of the shadows. It is not human, not even close. This monstrous thing emerges, and its very presence just sucks all the air out of the room.
What happens next is just a blur of absolute horror. Before anyone can even scream, the creature moves with this impossible speed. It grabs Nitish, and with a sickening sound of tearing and breaking, it rips his arm and leg right off his body. Viraj and Mohan are just frozen in shock as the creature then slams Viraj against the wall with enough force to kill him instantly. Then it turns to Mohan. In just a few seconds, 3 of them are gone. Only Sneha is left, standing there in the middle of a slaughter.
The creature's gaze falls on her.
The spell of fear is broken, and every single survival instinct in her body just screams one word: run. What comes next is a desperate, heart-pounding race to stay alive inside the stone tower.
Pure adrenaline takes over. She scrambles away, the only path available being back up the winding stairs to the top. She can hear it coming after her, this horrible shuffling, scraping sound on the stone steps. It's not even rushing. It feels like it's toying with her, like a predator playing with its food before the final kill.
She bursts out onto the top floor, gasping for air, lungs on fire. She takes a wild look out at the black ocean, and that's when she sees it. A single tiny light, a small boat out on the water. It's a 1 in a million shot, a sliver of hope so thin it's almost a joke, but it's all she's got, and a crazy, desperate plan starts to click into place in her mind.
And really, this is her choice. Stay here and face that thing, which is certain death, or take a terrifying, insane leap of faith. She starts screaming at the top of her lungs, waving her arms like a madwoman, just praying that the person in that boat can see or hear her.
And it works. Her screams carry over the water. The boat, a small fishing vessel, starts heading toward the island. But her cries for help attracted something else too. The demon, seeing this new person arrive, moves down the tower with terrifying speed. The poor fisherman, looking up to see who's screaming, has no idea that death is literally flying down at him from above.
This is her chance. The demon attacks the boatman in a flash of brutal violence, and that horrific moment is the only distraction she's going to get. While the creature is tearing into the fisherman, she doesn't think twice. She runs to the edge, takes a breath, and just flings herself off the top of the lighthouse. She crashes onto the deck of the boat, scrambles for the engine, and shoves the throttle all the way forward.
As the little boat tears away from the cursed island, she can't help herself. She takes one last, horrifying look back, and the image is burned into her brain for the rest of her life. The monster, standing at the foot of the lighthouse, lit up by its beam, feasting on what was left of the man who tried to save her.
So, Sneha made it. She got away with her life, but you know the scars from that night are never ever going to heal. And that's the thing about this story that really gets under your skin. It's not over. That beautiful, tempting lighthouse is still out there, just sitting on the horizon. And the ancient evil inside it is patient. It's just waiting for the next boat of curious tourists, drawn in by the promise of a beautiful view.